One of the things I just can't understand is the absolute hatred of New World. Now, I can fully get behind the critique and would add my voice to the group that critiques this game, calling for the game to be better, providing feedback, providing a pathway to make the game better, voicing my opinions on the forums, and obviously here on this channel specifically. And hello everyone, welcome to it. This is an opinion piece. If you guys are new to this channel specifically, anytime you see that green bar on a video, note that this is just me sharing my opinion, of which my dad would tell me, opinions are like assholes, everyone has one, and they all stink. And so I include my own opinion in that statement. So I'm not calling anybody out, I'm just saying that that's what it is. If you don't enjoy this style of content, this might not be the video for you. Check out the yellow, which is going to be a news-driven post, or a blue, which is a guide-driven post. And plenty of those are coming here on the channel here in the near future. But like I said, let's talk about the state of the game, what I don't understand behind the hatred. And I think it's best to start with kind of grouping the hate into a couple different categories. Because generally speaking, you can have somebody who does not like this game, who was disappointed by this game, it didn't live up to their expectations, or they thought it would be something other than what it is. And those are going to be one category that actually doesn't really fall into the thesis or what I'm trying to stay in the studio. That's everything in that category. If you fall into that category, your frustrations and critiques are perfectly understood by me. I can get behind that. Then essentially what you can also group up a bunch of people is the trolls, those who are just like really trying to just be a troll. Like, I can't even think of another way to say it. We can group all of them up and put them over into the corner. I can understand the trolls, but what I can't understand is those who are actively on this anti-New World campaign, going out of their way to tell people to stop having fun. And it's those group of people I see constantly frustrated by people's enjoyment of this game. And I see them kind of pop in here on this channel in the comments overall. I see them some more or less on Reddit, but overall Reddit's actually starting to trend positive, which my history of Reddit is that's an interesting sign. I really don't get to witness that prior to a game's launch. Usually pre-hype excitement is pretty natural, but post-launch hype or post-launch excitement seems to be a rarity within gaming. Maybe that's more of a bigger thing beyond New World, but we're going to keep it focused here on New World in and of itself. Now, beyond that, I think there's a real problem with this hate that we actually see within the community or outside the community pushing on it, because I continue to see a couple of questions pop up. That's why actually my returner's guide to New World is doing so well here on this channel. Thank you guys, and welcome if you've subscribed for any of those guides videos. Is because I think there is that curiosity, there is that draw. New World actually does something so very special, but being the nature of an MMO that it takes years to mature, it naturally has people trepidatious, a little on the edge, cautiously optimistic, and essentially saying, I don't want to play this game if other people don't want to play this game. But there's so many voices like that right now that I don't know a better way to say, like, you got to jump in, because essentially that helps the game grow, that helps the game maintain its player base, that helps the game continue to improve. And it does require a special kind of person, because that person needs to be somebody who wants to have their feedback heard, who wants to shape the future of the game, who wants to have a direct impact, because that's one of the strengths that the devs bring, is that they're actively listening to the players. And I think that also could be a part of this group that actively hates, not because they are disappointed. Most of them, actually, the ones that actually have told me, like, they've never played this game. They just want to hate on something. They want to be opposed to it. And that's what I just can't seem to fathom. And part of me goes is that, like, are these other MMO communities? And generally speaking, maybe. Like, there's a good probability, there's a high probability of that being a fact. And it's that I start to wonder, like, does New World pose a threat to your game? Does New World pose a threat to the thing that you enjoy, your community? And I think it used to be like that. I think this is kind of reminiscent, kind of an artifact of the World of Warcraft and then the killer mindset of video games. We've seen that happen, and that label being applied, or almost that label cursing whatever game is being applied to it, because no game can launch with as much content as a 10-year or 20-year-old MMO. I mean, that's just statistically has yet to happen. Maybe there's somebody out there who will do it, And when they do it, then we'll all look to them as that shining city, that golden city on a hill of MMOs, that utopia that MMOs are compared to, that yet is still an illusion. You can tell that I'm a little bit biased, and that's what you're going to get on the New World channel. Like, if you were expecting anything else, you will get my honest critique, but you will also hear my love of New World here in these videos. But it's that fear of playing. It's that, like, continually having to let people know of all the positive changes. That's what New World as a developer, as a AGS, as the developer and the publisher have to do. And the only way that I can see, and maybe you guys have a different opinion, and I always like to hear them, is that the only real thing that I can think can actually change that in a bigger sense is that of the expansion. And we say the expansion like it's announced. It isn't announced. We don't know if one even exists. And I think that in and of itself presents part of the problem for the players. Now, we do have a roadmap taking us into the fall, but MMOs are beyond 6 months. Telling me that I can, have this roadmap of content for 6 months is good, but I think that, and the best thing that they can do is hopefully be working on an expansion, and then sometime this fall, I would assume that would be the time frame, announce it. Here is an expansion. This is what we've been building to, and with it, there's going to be so many new things. And that expansion acts as both marketing, it acts as a promise, and then it acts as a way to get people excited to come back and check out the game itself. And that is why I think that's the pathway. But that is essentially just kind of to provide you guys my insight as to what I think is going to be needed to continue to, like, for the game to continue to march against those who hate it, to continue to frustrate, to continue to almost in a way mock those who hate this game, is by persisting, is to continue to persist, to continue to fight the good fight and push their way forward. And it's ultimately, I'm wondering, like, this is essentially, it would be a fun video for me to kind of reflect back on in a couple years, is that, like, for the people who hated it, did they eventually try it, or was it always just a matter that it was the popular thing to do? And we see that happen within gaming over and over again, and I can get behind it. I can get behind the frustration that as gamers that, or also kind of just wanting to be a part of a movement, that I can understand. But the overall just frustration at somebody having fun when playing a game that they're enjoying, and to kind of go out of their way to express that frustration is unknown to me. It's just unknown to me. And so if you can explain it better than I can understand it, I'm happy to hear that. That's something that I hope this video does. If nothing else, I hope that it gets you some New World in your feed. Hopefully we'll be doing some New World tomorrow night over on Ginger Prime. If you're interested in coming and joining us, you can always check out the Discord link if you're looking for people to hang out and play with. My internet's been weirdly offline all day, finally just came back, so I'm working on some videos to get out the door, as well as getting caught up on some work emails as well. So today was a little bit of a chaos day. And they say they have to bring out a tech to kind of fully fix the issue. So they were able to kind of, get me somewhat of the way to it. But it is what it is. Thanks, guys, for your time. Thanks for listening and to this opinion, to this smelly opinion, as my dad kind of refers to him as. Thanks again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. But until then, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with a clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh yeah.